faces! That's a joke. Don't actually do that. It's a big goddamn deal. If you yell that, everybody's gonna shit, because then they gotta call Bill in publishing, who will then have to call Cheryl, the executive editor, who will then in turn call Steve, the managing editor, to give the official order to stop press, which will then cause the Page Distribution Center to call the deputy plant manager in Queens. That's Carol, she's great. And they'll need to move the previous headlines to the inside section. Then the original copy is already printed, will actually be destroyed in a cleansing fire, while the new front page will have to be redesigned on the fly by the premier headline writer, and then the other news desks will have to be drafted into service to remake the A section, and then only 70% of the papers printed will have the current story. So, it's a fucking deal. Ignore that. Just listen up for a second, because I got some news. News! The goods! From the on-the-spot reporting to hot tea spilling, there's so many flavors of news out there. The varieties are as ample as Pringles, with options as infinite as a Cheesecake Factory menu. If you like it tepid with a light foam, you can hit up ABC News. It got a 72.78% on the factuals, media bias, and credibility chart. You can Google that later. The graph is very nice. Easy colors on the eye, a lot of teals. It's like smooth, like restaurant jazz. If you want a little more spice, but your date doesn't like it too hot, check out Vox. Rated 73.84%. It's crisp with some cinnamon notes. If you're drunk and eat a 2 a.m. burrito drowned in nacho cheese mixed with 5-alarm hot sauce, you don't care where the meat comes from, hit up Fox News. 53.62%. It's the Taco Bell of parents complaining about shit they don't understand. But if that's got too much mayonnaise for you, there's always CNN. 53.29%. It's news, but like read by boomers arguing at a Denny's. The Cable News Network was launched June 1st, 1980 at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. It now has 42 bureaus and 900 affiliated stations. That's the local shit where you kind of recognize the anchor. Like maybe you dated in high school, maybe you didn't. Either way, they're doing all right. Good for them. It made a mountain out of a mogul, Ted Turner, and gave James Earl Jones yet another notch in his belt as the voice of all time. CNN rose to international acclaim, which is the tastiest acclaim due to the variety of seasonings, during the Gulf War in the 90s, where it was the only news outlet with communications inside Iraq during the coalition bombing on January 16th, 1991, thanks to Bernard Shaw, John Holloman, and Peter Arnett. And they couldn't broadcast any visuals, so it was like listening to the War of the Worlds, but real, and the ending was worse. This was watched by over a billion people, which trebucheted CNN past the big three stations into infamy. And this was in the before times, mere months before the World Wide Web was even launched. You couldn't just upload a drunk wedding toast and go viral. Oh, you think that you're on the cul-de-sac reporting of a Karen pitching a fit is news? This was the day, Tiffany. Your follower account means nothing to the old gods. They laugh hurricanes in your face at your Coachella reporting and dog yoga. They made news with nothing but rocks and duct tape back then. Hands bloodied, lips chapped from eating nothing but styrofoam cups, up all night, gorilla glued to whatever the hell was happening. What'd you do, make a salad? Go live stream a bug you found and kick rocks. They were also the first cable news channel to report on the September 11th attacks. Carol Lynn breaking commercial to actually say, "This just in." Oh yeah, they used to say that back in the hoary days of yore when payphones roamed the earth. CNN is not without its global history chops, to be sure. How would anyone know the situation without Wolf Blitzer's lycanthropic salt and pepper acclaim? Answer, we wouldn't. We would all be living blissfully unaware of any such situation. To us, it would just be a room. 2008 marked its turn to hard American politics. It held the first ever YouTube debate where viewers could submit questions, which shows you just how little they understood the internet. Nowadays, you have to disable comments lest your YouTube vid becomes the wall at a gas station bathroom. Then came 2016, CNN's most watched year in history. Thanks to a certain President Jeff Zucker airing all of the rallies this loud orange guy was holding in their entirety. Zucker would admit that was a mistake later on. Quote, "If we made any mistake last year, It's that we probably did put on too mmany of his campaign rallies in those early months and let them run, because you never knew what he would say. There was an attraction to put those on the air, end quote. Which is fucking buck wild, because like, Zucker is basically responsible for making that carrot-colored Burger King Bolsonaro fucking star in the first fucking place, because he produced The Apprentice only to have Queen Tangerine go mob movie on his ass and call CNN the Clinton News Network. There was more confusing, double-talking, two-faced, flip-flopping bedlam back in those days than a Kardashian Christmas party. Now, thankfully, all we have left is collective trauma, which is why we're drinking in the afternoon. There's your news. Put that on a TikTok. And now here we are, 2022. CNN has launched its latest taste creation from its Wonka factory, CNN Plus. Hang on. In July of 2021, CNN announced it would launch a subscription streaming service, which would, quote, feature original programming and on-demand libraries of CNN original series and documentaries, because sometimes the news on the hour is not enough. You want it plugged directly into your face like a beer bong, just chugging news like you're in Vegas. And on March 29th, 2022, CNN Plus launched its latest investment that is, quote, orders of magnitude larger than anything CNN has taken on in its 42 years of sharp suit reporting and graphics louder than a game of Rocket League. For just $2.99 starting $5.99 in week 5, or a yearly subscription of $59.99, you can upload the app and tune in to see what's either currently live on CNN Plus or watch some classics. And I hear you. Can't I just watch CNN and check YouTube at the same time? Yeah, but this is an app. Plus, it promises it will cut into whatever you're watching with verified CNN Plus reporting on breaking news. So if you were worried that your news viewing pleasure would not be interrupted by the news, worry not and sleep easy tonight. They've got you covered. But like the Hindenburg, the Titanic, and Diana the musical, they flew too close to the sun and got too big to live. On April 21st, 2022, it was announced that CNN Plus would cease operations immediately, fire all 300 staffers, and cost Warner Brothers Discovery $300 million. And they broke the news to the network 3 weeks after its launch. They say if you listen close enough, you might hear Wolf Blitzer howling from the roof on the wind. But how? But why? We ask the great stone statue that was CNN Plus as it tumbles into the sand, its mighty works we look upon in despair. Was it corporate? Was it money? Was it a conspiracy run by the Clintons to take down the whatever because Breitbart said so and your uncle did his research, yada yada, click this link? Was it too big to fail? CNN becoming the Ozymandias of cable news networks your parents watch with the volume too loud? Or maybe, just maybe, it's because we all have a fucking news center broadcast company with graphics and sound and 24-hour live stream feeds where anyone can comment with abandon in real time in the ass pocket of our jeans right now. We don't need another goddamn outlet screaming in our face what's happening. Maybe, just maybe, for just a second, maybe, so we can breathe, we should stop the presses. Thank you, I love you, good night.